Who's in Alexandria along the GW Parkway.
Yeah, it looks like this is a part of the parkway that doesn't typically flood either, right?
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. Over the last year, we've seen a lot of weird things when it comes to weather, but this is one of the weirdest. This is the GW Parkway, and your eyes aren't deceiving you. That is a man that is currently fishing on the GW Parkway here, just south of Old Town Alexandria. We're actually in between Tulane and Bellevue Boulevard, which is just to the north of where we are. That whole portion of the GW north of Mount Vernon right now is closed under the surveillance of the U.S. Park Police, and that's because obviously what you can see here, water is over the roadway here. Right now, specifically where we are is Dyke Marsh, which is right in between the parkway and the Potomac River. And you can see the water from the marsh overran the parkway going west of the parkway. Now, the good news is down here, we haven't seen any flooding that's actually been impacting people's houses. We did talk to one gentleman who said his backyard is completely flooded. We do know, however, according to the National Park Service, a little farther north from here at Bellevue Boulevard, the apartment complex that's located there, there is some water that's impacting that complex, including that stretch of the roadway there too. So there are two parts of the GW right now that have water on top of them. That said, if you're in this area and you're trying to look for detours, you're going to have to go west of here around Fort Hunt to go north and south. And I can tell you right now, that's a pretty big traffic delay. But as you can see right now, the GW Parkway is not an option for travel. Park police are blocking off both sides of the north and to the south of where we are right now. Lorenzo and Leslie?
Hey, John, could we, have you talked to the man behind you fishing? I'm just curious what he might be looking for.
We have already scheduled an interview with this gentleman. We're going to be talking to him within the next minute.
And he has on flip-flops. This is all unusual. Okay.
Well, you know, it's getting close to Halloween, so, you know, people are just kind of doing whatever I don't know, anyway. Okay, well, good to know you've scheduled something with him. We'll get back to you. Yeah. All right. When flooding's a concern, listen, all eyes are on Alexandria in Northern Virginia. We continue our coverage with Megan Rivers.
Yeah, she joins us now in Old Town. And Megan, we understand that a lot of people there were concerned because it started flooding before high tide, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Lorenzo. They were concerned because it did start flooding before high tide, which is happening as we speak right now. So this water should, in theory, start to recede some here soon. You can see off behind me that we're in between King and Lee Streets. And right now, this is just basically like a little river. So off in the distance, they have those markers there. So right now, the water has reached 7 feet above sea level, according to those markers that you can see off in the distance. And so earlier today we saw some folks riding in a canoe through this area, which is basically the only way that you can get through here. One of the stories, though, I think that I would be remiss to mention because so many people are standing around me, is people seem to be very fascinated with what is happening. We have not been able to get people in Alexandria to stay home today. They are all out here taking a look at what they're seeing because they're so surprised at how high the water has risen today. I'm joined now with Christy Brown, and you work at the Paper Source. And Christy, we were talking about this earlier, and you said in the years that you lived here, this is all new to you too, right?
Absolutely. I've lived in the Alexandria area for about 10 years now, and this is unprecedented. And I've worked down here for 2 years, and we've never seen anything like this. The entire staff is talking about it, as well as the customers who have come into the store today.
Okay, and so you guys have already been hit hard so much because of the pandemic, but we also have a flooding situation, and we've had some issues the past couple of days with water. How is it impacting business?
Well, for the most part, earlier in the day, it did impact because the visibility with the rain, people really couldn't get to the store like that. But later in the day, I think because of the fascination with things, that's drawing more people down here. And as a result, more people are stopping by the store.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Chrissy. I'll let you get back to work because I see people still going in the Paper Source. The one thing that we do want to stress, too, is that Old Town Alexandria is still open. They are not closed. They might be a little wet. Some places are underwater. So that is a very serious matter that we have here because along King Street, a number of those businesses are underwater. So we will be monitoring this area, and we'll bring you live reports coming up in just a few minutes at 4:30.
It is certainly a lot more active than I anticipated down there. Megan, thank you.
Yeah, it is.
You stay safe.
If you're lucky, you get to drive to work and drive home. Or maybe you take public transportation, perhaps you even walk. But if you're where Matthew Torres is right now in Southwest DC, you need something else to get around.
Yep. a boat. Matthew Torres joining us now from the wharf in Southwest DC. And Matthew, I understand that some of these businesses, they tried to weather the storm. They stayed open for a bit, then it just became too much to bear.
Well, especially here at the fish market. In fact, one of them had to close and the workers used a boat to get out. This is the scene that we are seeing here in Southwest, where you can see the water levels just rose here even before high tide around 3 o'clock. We were here maybe about a couple of hours ago and it was already flooded. Now we do have businesses on both ends here at the market still operating. In fact, if you pan to the right, you have people, the workers, greeting some of the customers waiting in line. The operation is still in full swing despite the flooding that took place here. In fact, with me right now is Patrick Laborde with the Wharf Association. First off, when you see something like this, Patrick, what goes through your mind?
It pays to be prepared, right? You know, we're on a river, the wharf is on the river, and it has tides and floods that come up and down, and this area is historic, so it's a little bit lower, but we've done a lot of efforts to kind of try and mitigate the flooding.
And speak about those efforts, because from here on out, with the other businesses and restaurants that people have come to know here at the wharf, it's not flooded whatsoever.
That's right. So over where a lot of the businesses and restaurants are, we've elevated the level of the ground above the 100-year floodplain, and so it's not flooded at all. This area by the municipal fish market is historic, and so we weren't able to elevate it. Instead, we have created water barriers for some of the businesses that are down here to prevent water from coming in their front doors.
People have said here they've seen flooding in the past, 2 times at least. But what are you hearing from the workers?
You know, yeah, like you said, we get floods down here a couple times a year, but this is probably one of the higher floods that we've had in a couple years.
Yeah, in fact, we spoke to one of the employees. He said he has not seen water levels rise this deep whatsoever, but it really causes some concern for them. So far, things are operating here smoothly, but we haven't seen the water recede here whatsoever. Again, high tide kicked in just within the last hour, and so we'll keep an eye on things here. Patrick, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
We'll send it back over to you guys in the studio.
Matthew, really quickly, I know you posted something on Twitter a little earlier when the water started rising. A woman was placing an order amidst all of this. Are you still seeing people coming out to the fish market right now to place any orders?
Yes, they are here. Here, let me show you one more time. That's the line of people wanting their crabs, wanting their fish, wanting their crab dip, their lobster, whatever that is. They are waiting in line. And so the workers are wading through the water with their ponchos, with their boots on both ends here to make sure they get their orders in. That's how dedicated these customers have been to get their seafood. And we've seen that throughout the afternoon since we got here.
It's Friday, you got your fish fry going, you know, you're not gonna let a little flood get in the way. I get it. I get it. All right, Matthew.
I want to join them. I want to join them for that Fish Fry Friday now, for sure.
I know you do, but you got to hit in about 15 minutes, so we need you to stay put.
You
may have to wait a little bit.
We'll have another update.
We'll
have another update. Thank you.
All right, we'll see in a little bit. You know, it's pretty serious now out in Charles County where the weather is impacting a pretty urgent search.
Yeah, they've been searching for a missing boater there since Wednesday now, so it's been a couple of days at this point. We want to check in with our Bruce LeShan, who has more on that search, but clearly it's been a bit dampened by this flooding there, Bruce.
Yeah, Lorenzo and Leslie, the sign here says beware, and it's definitely an alarming, dangerous situation out here. Behind me, this is not a creek. This is actually a road, and you can see how it's coming up on the houses. It's been coming up on the houses all around here. And all of this weather has really been impacting that search, because the number one concern out here right now is for that volunteer firefighter, Doug Hands. He's been missing out on the Potomac now for 3 days. We are expecting an update on the search for him. It's been an intense one, and we expect that this reports are really nothing positive at all at this point, but we're waiting for that from the public affairs officials down here, the Coast Guard, Fire, Maryland Natural Resources Police, all looking for him. Situation here, we're almost down at Cobb Island, and the water here has actually come down. The water was within an inch or two of these houses down over here, and it's gone down just a little bit, but we're at low tide right now, and at high tide, if the wind continues to blow the water off the bay, they are worried that they could get water in their houses. I want you to see the situation over here, Dion. If we can come up, the road out here to Cobb Island is closed off. And you can see the Maryland Department of Transportation has these big trucks parked here because people have been going right by them, right on down. And as you get down there, the road is flooded out. There's a foot, maybe 2 feet of water on the roadway at low tide. Imagine what it's going to be like at high tide. They had a situation with the students. A lot of the students went out and went to school. And at one point they said, well, we can't get the school buses back out onto this island. And so a lot of parents were struggling to get off the island to go get their kids and bring them back onto the island. And there were about 5 children whose parents couldn't get to them. And they finally brought a school bus down here just a short time ago and took those 5 kids out onto the island to get back with their parents with the fire department escort. And of course, those school buses have pretty high wheels, so they got through okay. But all these rest of these folks, they're waiting to get home. Hundreds of people living out on Cobb Island can't get here or there. Back to you guys.
Boy, that is a significant issue, and you may not think about that if you don't have to cross something to get home, but this is a significant issue.
Yeah, and we know some school districts in our region did decide to close a little earlier today, like Prince George's County Public Schools, because they didn't want to run into issues like this.
Yeah, that's right. Calvert County did the same thing, and some others did some staggering. Bruce, boy, we're going to watch this because a lot of people need to get home tonight. And speaking of that journey, Michelle Logan is here, pulling a long day. Glad to see her in the evening, but we certainly don't want her to have to talk about beltway backups, right?
No, and I'm trying to make out what's behind you right now. It's not looking too good.
Yeah, it is slow going traffic. First of all, good to be with you guys, but we are seeing jammed roadways across the DMV. So this is a live look in Maryland, right near Arena Drive. No crashes here, but even with no wrecks, we are seeing just that slow flow of traffic and slick conditions out there. So it's a time, if you do have to go out, give yourself extra time. Still dealing with the crash on the top side outer loop of the Beltway in Bethesda. This is right near Old Georgetown Road. Left side of the road still blocked. In Arlington, Virginia, we have a wreck on 395 southbound right near Washington Boulevard with a jam there as well. And we have a long list of road closures for flooding in Fairfax County at this time. Right now in Reston, Paddock Lane is closed right near Colts Neck Road. And we travel south now to Accokeek, Maryland. We do have a northbound crash on Route 210, Indian Head Highway. This is right near Route 228, Berry Road. Plus, we saw Megan out near the Alexandria waterfront. We have a list of closures there, King Street, Union Street, and on Strand Street as well. So avoid the area if possible. Lorenzo.
All right, Michelle, thank you.